So honestly, I can technically say I have already healed because I can be this sweet person. Because
Got
of
you.
what
Cool, cool, cool,
actually
cool.
happened in my past, I should have been a fucked up individual where I just said fuck you to everybody and then give a fuck about no. Because as you said, with porn addiction, I was addicted because of someone else. Because they just kept feeding it to me, feeding it to me, feeding it to me, feeding it to me. So I did get addicted. And that's why I have this such crazy mind. So instead of looking at it in a negative connotation, I've just flipped it, positive connotation. Am I right? So I can technically say I have healed from it.
NL Publishing Service Academy proudly presents Listen Up, I Got a Story to Tell podcast with literary success consultant DK Walker. Sharing with you writing tips, marketing ideas, publishing information, and inspiring interviews for your author journey. So, without further ado, let's get right into it with DK Walker.
This is DK Walker. Welcome back to Listen Up, I Got a Story to Tell podcast. I recently just ended an interview with Kitty Pawell, right? And it was so good, so interesting. We ran it right back. We took a 10-minute break and we running this right back. So welcome back to the room, Kitty Pawell. Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm glad to have you. And like I said earlier in the previous podcast, that this is a first for me, right? Usually I would just combine the two podcasts, but I love your energy. I love the genre that you're writing because I write in that genre as well. And we still have a lot more to unpack. So with that being said, your book, you said that
Yeah.
you love marketing. How do you
Mhm.
plan on getting your book out to the people? Are you doing a pre-sale? Are you giving away the first few chapters for free? What are we doing here?
Stop. That's what she looks like.
Let me
She's
let me
beautiful.
put that back so I can see again. Nice.
And I got her from Dot Covers, but I designed her still because I just saw it in my mind of what I wanted. I wanted, because there's so many characters, because it's a white shoes. That's the best part. She makes no choices. Fucks whoever she wants. That is Rose Thorne. You will enjoy her, I promise. I don't think there's going to be, except for the people who don't like the book, which that's cool. But the people who like the book will love Rose. Two things. I am going to do a pre-order. Now, the fun part about the pre-order, if you actually buy your copy from my website, which my website is kittycreativeemporium.com, you will get sprayed stencil patches that I've done myself.
Look at you. I am so impressed with you and your creativity.
There's
That is beyond dope. Like real live dope. Like
cool. So that's one of the things you'll get. But yes, you get that if you actually do a pre-order through me. So I am actually going to do a pre-order through my website. Again, that is kittyscreativeemporium.com. But if you sign up for my newsletter and or you are going to Sinful Signing, which is my first author signing, so exciting. And I might actually have my book done by then, thank you, which I could have a book out. So exciting. Sorry, I will calm down. Anyway,
please don't.
I am actually going to give a 3-chapter sample out to everybody there. And if you're in my newsletter, do that week. I am also going to get, so you don't even have to go if you're not going, because it's in Roanoke, Virginia. Not everybody's going. But if you're a part of my newsletter, which is linked in my bio on all my social medias at Kitty and Paul. So you can find me anywhere, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. You can't link on Snapchat, but you can find me on Snapchat, Facebook, Clapper, all of those. I said Instagram, right? Yes. You will actually be able to sign up for my newsletter and you'll get a first 3 chapters. And chapter 1 is fucking spicy as fuck. I open up with the sex, bro. There ain't no simmer. Let's figure out our characters. Fuck all that. No, we having sex. That is what's happening. Chapter 2 is cool. It's spicy. It's steamy. And chapter 3, did chapter 3 have sex? I think so. Can't remember. But it's going to be nice and delicious and you're going to want to read it. That's all I'm going to say.
So my question to you, and thank you, and I'm pretty sure, like, I'm definitely going to get off here with you, sign up for the newsletter because I want to read the first 3 chapters, and I'm going to support if I don't do anything else.
Learn how to write faster, conquer writer's block, and tell a story your readers will love. In less than 1 month, writing only 3 pages daily, you can go from book idea to manuscript using the unfair writing advantage. Most authors take 8 months on average to write just one book. But in a fraction of that time, you will learn how to craft a book your readers will love and not be hunched over your laptop days on end to do so. Just go to www.theunfairwritingadvantage.com to see what has the self-publishing industry buzzing. Now back to the podcast.
Who inspired you far as writing in the genre? Who do you look up to, or this is all you?
That's a good question. So honestly, this particular part of the writing is all me. This is just
Okay.
how my mind works. But if I were to say who I was inspired by as far as an author, my 2 favorite authors, one of them is a self-published author. Yes. And she is a national bestseller every time she comes out with a book. So good for her. Her name is Heather Cologne Waldron. And she has it's a King series. The series is called The Kings, and it's a 13-book series. And it's a spicy romance, and it's very good. But my other one, she's a traditional published author, is Sherilyn Kenyon. And she has the Dark Hunter series as well as the League series. And those are my 2 favorite book series. I can read all 32 of them books over. I've done it 3 times because I love them so much. So
Wow.
those would be the ones that I would claim for inspiration in my writing. As far as inspiring me to do what I do, that would be my mom and my grandma. And I know writing about sex is weird to say your mom and grandma, but just wait. The reason I am inspired by my mother and my grandmother is because they instilled the need to read in me by taking me to the library, by taking me to the bookstores, by reading to me at night. I have the vivacious love of books because of them. So that's why I say my mom and my grandmother.
Wow. That's definitely what's up there. How do you see you taking off after this? Because something tells me that you're going to have a hellified launch. How do you see yourself taking off after this? Or I guess the question I should be asking, how do you plan on following this up? So say if you have no. You're going to have a smashing success, right? Bar's going to be high. Do you have
Okay.
any fear of following that up? Because once the bar is that high, you got to go either make that bar where it's at, or you got to exceed that bar. Is there any fear there?
No. And again, this is not to be cocky, but I don't see it as a bar. I see it as a ledge. So I could just stand on that bitch
Okay.
and
So
just ask
how do we
it.
get back to the same lead? You want to equal your writing? Because so the
Mhm.
reason I ask this question is because when readers read an author's work and their debut novel and that shit is out the gate fire, that's what they expect. So what
Oh, yeah.
happens is when your debut novel it should be good enough for readers to be inquisitive enough to read the second book, and then they grow in their writing. If your
Yep.
shit is fire, like the energy that you're giving out, your bar, in your case, the ledge is high. Like you
Hmm.
got to come with the same. So any fear there at
Hmm.
all?
No, because that just means I get to have more fun.
Okay.
Because you got to think about it this way, because you haven't read the book. So you don't know the full level of spice that is in the book. There's some shit in there that was like, damn, why isn't my husband home right now? So that's the type of feeling that I am going to make these females and hopefully males feel. And that's, I think, at a low level compared to some shit that people be fighting about and people be hiding. It's like low level spice. My friend tell me, no spice, nothing level. So you hype about that? Well, that just means I get to experiment and have fun with all types of shit. So it can only get better
Gotcha.
because, say, for instance, it was off the wall, wild shit, right? That was the first book. Then it's how the fuck do I top that? But it's not for me, in my opinion. And I wrote it, so my opinion matters. I think it's low and it can only go higher. That's what I think. So that means there's going to be more exploration. There might be some, no, I actually kind of already have that. But still, I can expand on that. But regardless, the first is, I think I've put it at a level that I can expand. So there's really not any fear.
Okay. Okay. Do you ever see yourself like the well-running, dry writing in your genre? Or is your mind that creative that that's not a worry of yours?
So honestly, no, it's not a worry of mine simply because this is why my name is Kitty Pawell, author. I'm not in a specific genre. I
Gotcha.
am not going to box myself because I could get tired of writing. I doubt it. I highly doubt I'll get tired of writing about sex, but I could get tired of writing about that and then go on to something. That's why when a lot of people just put this one thing by their name, I'm like, unless that's what you're just going to write the whole time, cool. But if it's not, don't put yourself in a box. Don't fit in a box. Okay. I got curves. I don't fit in a fucking box. So we're not going to do that. So I actually write because my next series is going to be a new adult, but it's all action and it's about assassins. It's about killing. I like that shit too. I don't just think about sex. That just happens to be what I think about a lot of. But regardless, that's going to have that. And then there's another one that's paranormal, which is all vampires. So it's like I have so many different ideas and so many different genres that I will never be boxed in. I don't have time to run dry because I got so much shit going on in my head.
I got you. So let me follow that up with my next question. You have so many ideas and so many genres. Are you still writing under your pen name of Kitty Pawell for each
Yep.
genre that you plan? So how do you plan on taking your audience that you built up originally in erotica to these other genres?
So that's actually a very good question.
I mean, I'm good at what I do.
Hey man, I gotta give you props. I gotta give you props. You got props. So if you're gonna, hey man, if you're gonna talk shit with me, I'm gonna talk shit with you back. I'm just like, my thing is, that's where the marketing comes in. It really is an integral part because, and that's also where it becomes good with how you said reaching out to people and keeping your community. If I don't communicate that to my people, they're gonna be like, what? This is confusing. I don't know if I like this or don't like this. So I think the marketing is gonna be a big thing, but also making sure that I keep up with my community and let them know, hey, yo, I read your shit. I want y'all to look at this real quick. And that's where the fun part comes in because I can make those interesting videos. And like, I know she writes about sex, but hold on, this looks interesting. Hold on. I want to know more. Going at it like slow and just putting in your little breadcrumbs instead of just having the whole book and bam, just in your face. You like, hold on. I thought you wrote what? I'm confused. I have questions. I don't want them to have questions. I want them to have questions, but not those questions.
Okay.
So I think the same way I did for LDN is the same way I would do for my other book is just slowly give you those breadcrumbs and get you interested. Because I've had people in December, when the book was only chapter 2, asking, so when is this book LDN is going to release? I'm like, I don't know. I only got 2 chapters. I have no fucking idea. So if I do it that way, the same way I did, where I found my niche, my sweet spot is doing it slow like that. It gets them into the idea that, oh, she writes more than that. Okay. All right. Interesting. I wonder if it's maybe not going to be the same, but if it's going to be as good. And yes, honey, it will be as good. I promise.
It's very interesting that you say that. It's a bit to take audiences over, but one thing I do know that's tried and true, that great story trumps genre every time, right? Now, you'll
Yep.
have some people that is there strictly for the sex. I get it, not a
Yep.
problem. And I'm not mad at them. That would be me. I have issues. We'll talk about that later. But you will have people that love you for just the storytelling. If you can remove a person mentally from their surroundings and they get lost in the book, they really don't care the genre.
What it's about.
I want my escapism. That's all I
Yep.
want for my author is a place like no matter how long I'm reading, I want to escape during that time. And
Yep.
I do believe that you're more than capable of doing that for your readers. In the
Yeah.
previous podcast, we ended it, or we didn't end it right there, but I think it was a question before last where it spoke of that you wouldn't mind turning LND or
LDN.
LDN into an adult movie. That's doable. I'm a little bit older than you. Let me give you a bit about myself.
Okay.
I published my first book. It's called The Ugly Side of Sex, and it was
Okay.
dealing with the main character was addicted to sex,
Okay.
but he wasn't trying to get help. Like he
Okay.
went down the rabbit hole and he shunned all help. And of course, for every action, there's an opposite an equal reaction. So he reaped
Yep.
what he sowed in, long story short, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit older. I dealt
Mhm.
with porn addiction, sex addiction, and whatnot. It's constant struggle, constant fight with me. And I wrote that book in the vein of not necessarily a self-help book. Like, this will happen if you just live for the moment, live in the flesh. Okay, it's cool, but you got a price to pay. Nonetheless, watching porn, they did big production on porn back in the day instead of the 5 to 10-minute videos that's out and about allegedly today, right? So I think that idea is doable. Think of your book blow, you don't like, and then you get investors, like that can pop off.
Yeah, I think it's possible, especially the way I want to do it. Because I ragged on E.L. James, but it's the same premise. I want that story in there. I don't want just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. That's fucking boring to me. That's if you just need a quick hit. I don't want that shit. I want it to actually be developed and actually have a story so you connect with these characters just like you connected with them in the book. So I think that's where it would make me a little bit different
Gotcha.
than what's already out there.
Got you. Another thing, I think some authors that write in the genre of erotica, they lean on the crutch of the genre itself and don't take the time out to actually build their characters up. So they think if I just write a hot sex scene, that'll get them over. But that's just watching porn at 5-minute clips. After a
Yep.
while, no matter what, you become desensitized with it because you're not connecting with the characters.
Exactly.
And so since I understood that at very early on in my writing journey, pardon me, the crutch I linked on wasn't that of the sex scenes. It was of the moral conflict between the characters. As the flesh was, I'm all in, but there was the conscience talking about, okay, but if I do this, me having this pleasure, me suffering this pleasure comes at a cost. Am I willing to pay that cost?
Writing your manuscript has been hard enough, so let NL Publishing Service Academy make self-publishing your book easy as possible. From beautifully designed full and ebook covers to uniquely done typesetting and formatting, our goal is to professionally enhance your manuscripts and book covers to give your readers the best reading experience possible. Need marketing tips, tactics, and strategies? We can help you with that. How about branding and broadening the reach of your author platform? Yep, we can help you with that too. So no matter what your self-publishing needs are, NL Publishing Service Academy has you covered. Just head over to www.nlpublishingservices.com for whatever your self-publishing needs are. And now back to the podcast.
And that's the basis for anything that I write. I want to challenge my doggone readers to think, okay, cool, I'm going to give you all the fun that you think that you want, but it comes at a price. And when the last drop dribbles, are you willing to pay that price?
Exactly. We're
Right.
all done now, so you ready? The shit's still here, bro. You still gotta deal with real life. And that's where, your book is it's the opposite of mine, which is fascinating because for Rose is the type of person that she does not do commitment of any kind with female or male.
Okay.
She just doesn't have the emotional mindset or equipment to actually give that much of herself to people. But go ahead.
No. Keep talking. I got this thought. I had to pin it because I don't want to lose it. But please keep going, and I'm gonna definitely.
Okay. But she's a people. I was about to fucking lie. She is not a people pleaser. I'm sorry. She is a people person. She's a social butterfly. She can get along with anybody, and she has the sexual magnetism that just draws people in. And her best friend Hazel calls her out on this, but Rose likes to stare at people to let them know that she's interested in them. So in a scene, there's a new girl that comes on the scene, but you're going to think this is funny. I've named all of her sexual partners fuckables. So she's on the phone with her best friend and they're talking on video chat and she gets distracted because this hot-ass female comes in. She's got ass, she's got tits, she's got curves, she's got beautiful hair, beautiful eyes, just everything that Rose likes. And she just gets stuck. And Hazel's like, Earth to Rose, I think you're drooling through the phone. And Rose, shut up. What are you talking about? And it's just, I've got that banter between her and Rose. And then the girl's name is Melanie, her and her best friend, Shelly. And then even with the characters, it's not just sex. It's a lot of it. And it's good. It's delicious. But you actually see their interactions with each other.
Okay.
And you're just like my best friend Evie, she was pissed at me because she thought I was getting rid of one of the characters, which originally I was going to yeet him, but I decided to keep him. But that's my baby daddy. You can't get rid of him. I love him. He needs to be in here. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so dramatic. But that's what I've done. It's built that relationship that even though they're not boyfriend and girlfriend, you still love seeing these characters
Gotcha.
and enjoying them. And you do connect with them like, oh, I like her with this person, or oh, I like her with this person, or I like her with both these people. You keep thinking these things. And then you're just like, you want more. So you're like, okay, what's going to happen in book 2? Is certain people going to be with certain people, or put it. So that's what I'm trying to do with this.
Got you. In the first podcast that we recorded earlier, you had said something to the fact that your parents had separated and you not seeing your father on a regular basis stained you, right? Because you didn't understand the reason why. And as I hear you, and you also said that you personally have a high sex drive, but you don't physically act it out. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? You know, you like people, but not that you don't want to deal with the bullshit. And that's understandable, not a problem.
Yeah.
Listen to you describe, can you say those two things and then listen to you describe Rose? How much of you is the main character?
All of it. Except for the fucking other people. That's it. But
Got you.
I don't do that. But I have been with women and I have been with men. So yes, Rose is, and that's why I love my best friend, because Evie Black is my best friend. And she's author, indie author. She's been my alpha reader. Rose is so much of you, it's crazy. And I'm like, I know. This girl was basically, because of something that happened when I was younger in my past, I did develop a second personality that I could shut off and go to that personality and just deal. And that's what Rose was for me.
Okay.
Is that she was the harder person of me, because everybody sees me, they see me so nice and so charismatic and so sweet, but there is a darker side. And you only get that side when you really piss me off or you disrespect me. I don't typically show that side.
Gotcha.
So Rose is really the embodiment of that. But I also don't want to make her a complete bitch, because I'm not a complete bitch. I can be, but I'm not. So I am trying to soften her. She's going to grow throughout this trilogy. But the first part is, she cold with the feelings. That's hurtful, but she'll grow and you'll see that soft side.
Got you. So that leads me to my next question is, as you're healing Rose throughout your trilogy, do you see yourself taking that same healing journey along with Rose?
So honestly, I can technically say I have already healed, because I can be this sweet person. Because
Got
of
you.
what
Cool.
actually happened in my past, I should have been a fucked up individual where I just said fuck you to everybody and then give a fuck about no. Because as you said, with porn addiction, I was addicted because of someone else. Because they just kept feeding it to me, feeding it to me, feeding it to me, feeding it to me. So I did get addicted. And that's why I have this sex crazy mind. So instead of looking at it in a negative connotation, I've just flipped it, positive connotation. Am I right? So I can technically say I have healed from it, but that's where I talk about where it is going to be plot as well, and not just the sex, because there's a story there that you're going to see, and it's going to really it'll make someone connect with Rose that has gone through that. And it's not fun, but you're going to see the other side. You're going to see the negative part of it first, but you're also going to see the positive side where you do find your person and they bring that positivity out of you.
So I'm going to ask you and Rose a question. Define love.
Okay, so for me, love, it's not something that's very simple, but simply to me, it is just enjoying the time you spend with someone.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be receiving gifts or going out, none of that shit. But just when my husband gets home, I'm happy because his presence is here.
Okay.
And it's like, I have nothing against being alone. I could be alone. But sometimes even when you're in a room full of people, you can feel lonely. Having that person just sitting next to you and just minding, he's playing the video game, I'm probably writing or something. And that presence is calming. And it just matches my presence. So I'm calm and I'm at peace. That is what love is. When you can just be at peace and you don't have to do anything.
Got you. Now, through the arc of roles, will we see the love that you have personally play out professionally in your books?
To an extent, yes, because book 2 is going to have still a focus of her being her player self and still fucking all these people and everything. But you're going to see some people from the past too that's going to bring up some shit too. But book 3 is, the beginning of book 3, it's really going to start to drag on. So much so that by the end of book 3, it will just be 2 individuals, Rose and the person she chooses,
Got
and
you.
actually allows in to be her person.
Got you. Got you. Got you. You said something earlier about the way that you was going to market your book far as giving away the first 3 chapters and also other things and whatnot. And you're selling your book on outside of Amazon. So that's telling me that you're going wide. So you're not going narrow the first 90 days with Amazon, or you're going wide out the gate.
So I plan to, as far as paperback, because here's my plan. I plan to go with Ingram Sparks because I've heard that you get better royalties when it comes to you just get better discounts than going through with Amazon as far as paperback. So that's what I'm going to do for that paperback, and then sell it myself. Of course, it will be, of course, available on Amazon, but I live near 2 bookstores, and I know I used to work at the other bookstore, so I'm gonna talk to some motherfuckers, see if I can get that bitch on the shelf.
That's right.
We'll see how possible that is. So I don't want to limit myself to just Amazon. As far as the paperback, though, because Kindle KU is such a big thing, I am going to, those first 90 days, have my ebook in KU to get as much pages read as possible. But then once those 90 days are, then yes, I'm going wide. So you can have them in playbooks, you can have it in Google, you can have it in Nook. I don't give a fuck how you read it. You can have it everywhere. You gonna see this, well, not this space necessarily, the girl space, every fucking where.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so. Okay. All right. So if anybody, if people that's listening to the podcast, I don't want you to get lost on the fact that Kitty has given this a lot of thought. I've had a lot of authors on my podcast, and I get to talk to them about marketing, and they have not a plan well formulated just yet. They have an inkling of a plan, but you don't want to give too much unsolicited advice. But they be having a plan, and they book be coming out like a week from the podcast. I'm like, if you don't, I'm not understanding. You gotta, like, I don't get, but with you, let me give you your flowers now for having a well laid out plan. You know what I mean? To get your book into readers' hands to eventually go wide away from Amazon. And then when you sell it on your website, you get to make more money because you get to dictate the price, and you can actually go raise the price up on Amazon and lower the price up on your website. Now, granted, people are always going to buy from Amazon eventually. Initially, pardon me, because they know and trust. They own that know and trust factor. But as people get to know you, trust you, and whatnot, and when you offer those deals for your books, you become their first option.
But that's why I have the incentive of the stencil edges.
Right now,
because that just takes it to a whole nother level. Is you're paying
1000%.
more to get it from me, but you're getting something for it.
Right. Now, how long does that take you to do? So what happens if you got 1,000 people, and that's a small number, let's be honest, and they want that, that's
Oh, look, motherfucker, hold on. That's a big question. Okay, because this took a minute, but that's because Jesus, now you're giving me.
I'm sorry, but you got to think that through.
But yeah, no, honestly, it does not take long. The biggest thing is that's why I practice. I ain't got no orders yet. Practice to get it. Now I know, because this is my 5th try, I think. Yeah, 5th try. And it's beautiful.
It is.
I finally got it right. So in 5 tries, it took me 30 minutes to do that.
All right. So you got 1,000 books that is going to be ordered, right? In 30 minutes. Jesus.
Yep.
Okay.
So I said 30 minutes for one book. I ain't say 30 minutes. But ultimately, when I get up, because I have a full-time job. I work literally 9 to 5 hours. So once I get off of work, I go to work. So it's like taking $5 a night and spraying them bitches.
Right. What you could do, I'm not sure if you have any help available. Say that you really do well, right? And you just pull the money back into your business and you can train somebody to do that, right? And so they can give you 20 to 30 books a day
Yeah.
that will buy you the time that you need it, right?
I mean, maybe one day, but again, that goes back to the first time where I said I'm a perfectionist. I'm too controlling to let other people touch shit. So we'll see.
Gotcha.
Probably not, but we'll see.
As Erykah Badu would say, I am sensitive about my shit. Before I let you get out of here, I want to thank you. I've enjoyed you tremendously. Real talk. Anything that I can do to help support you and your author dreams on your author journey, do not be a stranger. Please just reach out. You know how to get in contact with me. And I mean that sincerely. That's just not me, kicking a willy bubble. That's not what that is. I love your energy. I love the fact that you're writing the genre that you're writing in. And I love the fact that you're not using the sexual aspect of that genre as a crutch, that you're actually giving your characters depth and you're having them dealing with real shit, which is definitely going to make the readers connect that much better. Before I let you get out of here, one of my final questions to you, what advice would you give to authors that find themselves working a 9 to 5, find themselves dealing with imposter syndrome, but they still have this burning desire to get a book out? What would you tell them to get them over the hump?
My biggest thing is you'll never know until you try. You'll never know if it was a good book unless you write it. You'll never know if people like it unless you publish it. You'll never know if you can do it unless you start. That's the biggest thing. Yes, I work a 9 to 5 job every fucking day. It's annoying every fucking day. But you know what? I ignore those motherfuckers and I write. So if you can use the Google Doc shit, if you could use some type of fucking app to write it, pull that motherfucker up while you at work. Every time you get a quick break, type some shit. You could even type, I hate this motherfucker. You could do that. You could do that. But write. That's the biggest thing. Do not stop writing. It doesn't have to be a paragraph. It doesn't have to be 2 sentences. It could be a fucking word a day. But start. Just go. And then just keep going. And then at the end of it, you'll look up like, whoa, I got a whole fucking book.
Right.
You
1000%.
do. Now you got to edit that bitch, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's another. Yeah, because think about it, every time you create something, then there's another hill you got to climb. Success always is hills. Like, you'll never until you die. Yeah, it's just a journey that we're on. Definitely last question here.
Okay.
You've given so much great advice throughout. No, real talk. You've given great, sound, actionable advice to the last 2 podcasts. And I've soaking up game for you. I promise you I have. My last question to you was this. Do you ever see yourself moving in a position to help authors that don't know as much as you know?
So I have.
And with personality and all, right? Like with the cursing, with the full-fledged you. And I'm not saying this, and I hope, like we all grown here, people. Don't get caught up on the profanity. Don't get caught up on, it was so many jewels and nuggets that Kitty gave is not even fucking funny. But I can really see you branching out and helping other authors that doesn't have or doesn't know as much as you. Right. And that's another source of income, by the way. I don't know what you want to do with it, that jewel I just gave you, but it's not far-fetched. It's not at all.
Not. I've been in positions, several jobs where I've had to train people and teach. And I'm never shied away from it. Because I'm not a person who, like, as they call it, gatekeeping. My biggest thing is, it's not the winner's circle, it's the winner's ledge. We can all fit up there.
That's a t-shirt and a ball. That's a t-shirt and a ball.
We can all fit up there. It's not a fucking pedestal where only 1 foot. No, we all got feet. We can all fit up there. I want all of us to win. So I'm so happy where people ask me when it freaks me out a little bit because, like, damn, y'all think I know shit. sometimes I don't figure it out and I just share it. So it's like, I'm fully open to sharing. I think I have a panel where I'm on a panel at Sinful where I'll be able to do that. And I'm happy to share that information. I'm happy to share that knowledge because if I can, and maybe your whole audience won't necessarily connect with this, but hopefully some of them will. I want someone who looks like me to look up at me and say, if she can do it, I can do it. That's my biggest thing. But I can't help her feel that way if I don't open my mouth and say something and tell her, yes, you can do it. So that's a lot of, that would have to happen sometime in the future because I got too much shit going on right now with my business and everything and all the things that I make on a daily basis. Like I make journals and all this type of stuff. So I create stuff. So I got too much going on right now.
Right.
But yes, I would absolutely love to share my knowledge with any and everybody. And they don't necessarily have to agree with it. You don't. But I just want you to know that I was on the same level as you where I didn't know shit. And I got here. Or maybe not that high. I'm not going to be that big of myself. So you can get here. That's it. You can ask questions. That's it. It's not that hard.
You're right. Yeah. So what happens is sometimes a person needs that helping hand. Sometimes a person needs to be inspired, you know what I mean, by not only what you say, but what you do. If you can show a person the way, I can tell you how to do something, but if you can see me actually accomplish things that you want to accomplish, it becomes easier because you become that visual roadmap. Kitty, girl, look, don't be a stranger. Whatever you need, you know what I mean? Just hit your boy up and I got you. I promise you that. Let me know when your book drops. I'm going to copy it from you. You know what I mean? And I want my stencils on my shit. Don't half-ass me. I'm going to let you know now. You send me my shit with no
I
stencils on
promise. Hey, you will get extra shit. I promise.
So seriously, when that drops, let me know and I will buy that from you personally. Look, it's your boy DK Walker. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, man. Y'all join me here on Listen Up. I Got a Story to Tell podcast. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, leave your boy a review. An honest review. Just leave me a review. If you're watching this on YouTube, sub to my page. Like, share, comment, sub to my page. I greatly appreciate y'all, and I will catch you good folks next week. Peace.
This episode of Listen Up, I Got a Story to Tell podcast has ended. But please be sure to subscribe for more literary strategies and tactics to help you create the profitable, successful author career you've always wanted. And don't forget to rate and leave a review so we can continue to bring you the best author and book-related content. See you on the next episode.